Gardens. I was going to update a video today, upload a video, and I decided I just wanted to go live and show you guys garden tour. So welcome. We're going to walk through. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we garden here and show you what's growing. So welcome to our homestead. This is alternative homesteading, where we grow food very different ways, any way we can, in order to grow the most food, right? Taking up whatever space we have available. So actually, we normally have wild berries all throughout the forest here. We've pushed that back a little bit in this section here. And so that's what that pile is. Just because we have so many, we actually just wanted to enjoy the view a little bit. And I planted some more berries. This is all our permaculture landscaping. This is a plant called Elegant. Welcome if you're just hopping on. This is comfrey. Look at all this lettuce that wild seeded. Love it. It's so beautiful. I need to harvest these as they're actually wanting to go to flower. Actually, I'm not going to harvest those. I'm going to let these go to seed. I don't need, look at all of these greens. So many greens. So yeah, I was just going to give you guys a tower garden tour, permaculture garden tour, wherever this phone will let me go without cutting off. So let me show you what's going on here. Let's check this tank. Okay, when you start to see discoloration like this, that means your nutrients are off. I don't check my pH. I don't check the E, whatever it's called, which is like the sediment in your water. I just listen to my plants. So these nutrients are off. We had a ton of rain, and it's probably just gotten rainwater in it. I'm not really sure why they're off. I could have forgot to add nutrients. I've done that before. So I'm going to fix that today, and that will clear up really quickly. This is Chajimusai, Mizuna, Swiss cilantro. Oh my gosh, can't think of the name. It's gonna leave me. I'm tired today. We had a busy day at church today. Green onions, chives, so many things. All right, this tower right here, beautiful dill. How's everybody doing today? This is wild bergamot right here. Super prone to powdery mildew in this area. So not happy about that, because I actually love to eat these, but not when they have powdery mildew. So I don't know if I'm going to move it. I don't know what to do about it. I'll keep growing it, but I might move it away from the edge here just because it always has powdery mildew. But look at this bee balm. So beautiful. All right, so on this tower, this is a Chinese cabbage. It's called Golden Beauty. These are showing nutrient deficiency too. Okay, so I probably did something when I set these two towers up at the same time. So I probably didn't do the nutrients right when I did it. So I'm just going to empty them and start over. Strawberries on here. Cilantro babies. Look at these purple lady bok choys. So beautiful. Welcome, Linda. We're just doing a little garden tour. I was sharing how if you ever see this, that's a nutrient deficiency when you're dealing with hydroponics. Not a big deal with hydroponics. It clears up super fast. Look at these little bok choy. I don't want to eat the food when it's like that because we want it to be nutrient rich and have all of the nutrients. This is calendula starting to bloom already. So I need to get that under control, which I will do in just a moment. What else do we have on here? So beautiful. Okay, if we go this way, this is all my permaculture food forest. We're redoing our garage, putting in offices. These are peonies are coming through. Next to it, that's wormwood. My beautiful apple tree. I did not prune this year. After the hurricane, I just decided everything needed time and did not need stress. And so we didn't prune, and it's proving to be a good decision. This has not given us a ton of apples, and this year it looks like we're going to get the most we've ever gotten off of here. Let me see if I can find some. Right here. Little green apples. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Onion and strawberry. Yes, that's what I've got in mine. Onion and strawberries in this tower over here. Let me show, I'm going to walk you guys through all my different towers. I'm about to do 3 more back here. So I've got onions and chives, cilantro, calendula. This is some chichimusai, just some greens, but this is a lot of herbs like sage, thyme, oregano. We have some sweet marjoram somewhere right here. So many herbs on here. And then that one is greens, celery, and purple lady bok choy on the top. And dill on the bottom. Strawberries right in the middle. Yes. All right. So I've been sharing, if you've been following along, we had to redo our garage. My husband's putting his office in there, and the animals and the bugs had kind of taken over. That building was about to go. The floor was caving in. It was on this side. It was bad. So it's under construction, so I can't start my seeds in there. My towers are a little bit different. So we're doing things a little different this year. These towers right here, we've had so much rain. This is all arugula. These are peas. These are taking a minute to get started. They were looking a little rough. And then these I put in just before, same batch, but I put these in the tower about a week before, and they are doing beautiful. So they're gonna go on these trellises once we get a little bit longer. I think we're close. They'll climb this way. But this one is peas and parsley, because I do a ton of parsley. And yeah, go this way, plant, go this way. We're so close. I usually tie string and kind of guide them, but I just haven't this year. And then this one, these have just struggled a little bit. So hello, Anthony. I'm just giving them time. They're starting to show new growth signs, but they went in a week later. I started all the seeds at the same time, but they went in a week later. And I don't know, it's just making a difference. This is arugula. I can't start seeds like I have always started because our garage is under construction. So I'm a little bit like behind and everything's just a little bit off, but that's all right. These are looking beautiful. All these peas. Let's see if we can get it. Are we close? We're so close to getting it to grow. I just need one of them to catch and go over here. If I can get one of them, they'll take off. And then this is another one, the same. The peas look kind of rough. I put them in a week later, so I think they'll be fine. It's just taking a minute. Everything just kind of got hit a little bit hard. Cool thing about hydroponics is there's lots of room for recovery. They bounce back quick. All right, these towers. I want to give you guys a little update on these towers. So what I'm going to do this year is all 4 of these are going to be tall, like this one. It's working out great. And then the other 3 that are empty right now will be tomatoes and peppers. And then I have 3 more that are going in the back that will be my winter squash, so we can store those up. So that'll put us at 16 towers with 4 of them extra tall. So that should put a dent in those tariffs and that high inflation, right? We'll see. This chicory, it is radicchio, and those are doing really, really well. And then at the top is an Emiko cabbage. It is I think it's an Emiko. Yeah, like a Napa cabbage. The celery is doing amazing. Endive, turnips. I grow in this one. This turnip's falling out. Whoops. On this tower, this tall tower, if you notice, there's the one problem with turnips. Sometimes if you pull them out too late, like you get them to come out of the grow hole, so if they're growing inside, they'll like flop out. Hold on, let me show you how to fix it. We're gonna rotate it. You want it pointing up. It's hard to do this with one hand. So this tower has a baby greens section right in the middle, this tall tower. All right, I'm gonna turn this one all the way. There we go. And that'll stabilize it in there. So on here, when I go to get food, it's all at eye length, which is really cool. So this is what it looks like from afar. There's the top, things that are slow growing that I'm not gonna mess with for a while. And then as we come down, all of the stuff we're gonna eat frequently, Like this beautiful butter crunch lettuce is just right here in the middle. Looks awesome. Hey, Orbit. Yes, on live today. Really tall towers did you put? Yes, I did put a bigger pump, Jody. I had to add their high density pump. Someone asked me in my last video I posted if you can do just any pump, and the answer is, I mean, you probably could, but I will tell you their pumps are specifically designed to handle being turned on and off, because most pumps just run continually, and then they are designed, they're made in Italy actually, to handle the sediment, because we're running salts through these. And so I just use the Tower Garden ones. This is radicchio. It's starting to take shape, both of these. I have a lot of food that's ready. I don't have a lot of starts though. Like this lettuce is about to go to seed. I'm gonna go pick up some starts. Our garage is under construction, and so I cannot do my own seed starts very easily this year. So, hey, Monica. I forgot that was your YouTube name. So over here we have kohlrabi and lots of just random greens. I'm actually going to harvest. We're going to juice today. Look at this one's going to flower. So we need to harvest that. And I'm going to go over to Western Urban Farm, which is a local. All these green onions are getting turned into pesto and salads this week, so we will eat those. I'm going to go over to Western Urban Farm and get my starts from her. Everything that I like, tomatoes and peppers and things. And then I'll start the things that I have to start, but I can't do a ton of starts. If you're just hopping on, we had to redo our garage. All right, I have a problem. Okay, hold on. Let me read your comments. I'm relatively new to gardening, and these types of videos really help me. Oh, good. Mountain Goddess, welcome. I'm just piddling around today. I grow, just so you know, using alternative methods. So I grow with hydroponics, and then I grow permaculture landscaping, and then we grow in raised beds. I'm doing a lot of raised beds this year. I have a problem with power after storms that keep kicking off last year, so I need to have less towers. Jody, cover your cords with like a waterproof box. Is that what's cutting the power? Unless it's just something to do with your power system. Aren't you in Canada? Remind me if you're in Canada, because it might be, because I know you guys have some power things going on there too. Will my celery tower get aphids? I'm cautious about keeping... Monica, I don't know. I am so prone to aphids. I'm growing inside right now in a little hydroponic system, and I already have them in there. But I am very outside all the time. Like, I'm bringing this food in to my house all the time. So it's very different for me, because we don't keep our doors, like our windows and doors are always open. And look at this, guys. Look at this leaf. This Swiss chard is bonkers. It's hard to tell. It is literally the size of my torso. All these onions need to be cut and harvested. I'm going to make a recipe with them tomorrow. So, it just, you never know. So I can't say for sure. I guess it just depends on your area. Oh, thank you, Mountain Goddess. I'm harvesting. These are baby cauliflower, guys. These are those baby cauliflower I like to grow. Got new starts going. These are some collards. So I'm just harvesting some greens. I'm going to juice today. These towers are getting pretty, like where I'm about to harvest a lot of things. So keeping that in mind, I've got to start planning what we're going to put in these towers, because I'm not starting my own seeds a lot right now because the garage is under construction. Like this, some of this lettuce needs to be eaten. We're getting some brown leaves. So I think I'm going to head over to Western Urban Farm this week and see what she has, just to fill these spots. Look at that radicchio, because we don't want to not have food growing. On this one, lots of kale. Look at these beautiful turnips. I don't even know what's in here, if you want to know the truth. There's so much. I can take some of this Swiss chard. I'll show you guys my, oh, this right here is nice. These are all baby cauliflower. If you're not familiar with this cauliflower, it's an H1 cauliflower. It is awesome. And guys, there's a tower sale. I don't know if you guys saw it for Mother's Day. $100 off towers. So I'm about to add 3 more to, look, there's something living in there. 3 more to the back for our winter squash. And I'm gonna get these set up for tomatoes. All right, let's get some of this. This is kitchen gardening, by the way, guys, when you're just taking food as you need it. We wanna keep the food on the towers if we're not gonna eat it. Just waiting, because that's where all the nutrition's gonna stay intact. And then we kind of harvest it as we get hungry, right? All right, greens I'm gonna juice before the evening's over. Oh wait, now I see more. Okay, hold on. Do more specific. Keeps tripping the breaker. Yeah, that's something with your power, Jody. You might need to call an electrician and see. Can you put them in 2 different plugs? Because these run off of very, very, very low power. Like you have 4 towers, right? 4 towers. If you're tripping, that's like less power than a hairdryer. That's an electrical issue. Where did you get the wood chips for the mushrooms? Can I go to Home Depot? Monica, yeah, no, you want to do, they're not pine. They are, I got them at the pet store. Not cedar. It is a different name. Oh my gosh, it's totally left my brain. I'm really tired. We had a big fundraising event today at church, and I'm exhausted. What is the name of that wood? It's a type of wood that mushrooms grow in. Now, if you're just setting them on there like a bed, like I am, just to collect moisture, then you're just going to use pine, which is fine. But those are actually mushrooms you can grow spawn in, or wood chips you can grow spawn in. But I can't think of the name of it. Here's our kale. Most of this you can see. Kale lettuces repeat over and over and over again. A lot of the same things. I didn't realize how much of this stuff is actually on its way out. We definitely need to get some new starts ASAP. This is stevia. These little bok choys, I'm gonna make a stir fry tomorrow. This is arugula, one of my favorite foods to consume. This is what that lettuce looks like when it's smaller. This is that crisp head. And then this is what it looks like when it fills out. It's an iceberg. Nice and crispy. Somebody was asking me the other day, like, how do you get crispy lettuce? You got to buy crispy lettuce types. Because a lot of lettuce like this is a butter lettuce, butterhead, and these are soft. It's just our house we need to add. Yeah, I was going to say, it just needs more power. Covering the cords with the box is a great idea because it happens when it rains. Yeah, so if it's tripping when it rains, they sell little white waterproof power box containers. I keep saying I'm going to do that just so my timers last longer, but I'm lazy. I don't know. I have yet to do it, and I'm going on year 5. And this is someone asked me for my setup advice, and I was like, don't take my advice. This is not going to pass any kind of code, but this is how it works. You guys know I don't spend a lot of time fussing over things. Thanks, Anthony, for the thumbs up. Yeah, cut it and have a big salad. You're getting me motivated. I'm going to go clean my towers for spring. Yes, it is time, guys. Get your towers. These towers, just so you know, so I was growing in the garage. And these 3 I just brought outside. So some of this stuff was from the garage, overwintered. And so what happens is it gets hot, cold, and things will go to flower. This Swiss chard, if you want to know what Swiss chard looks like when it's about to flower, that is a baby ladybug. That's a ladybug larva. So we're going to take one of these. That'll be coming out this week. About 30% of this food will be consumed this week because we're just getting to the end of a lot of stuff. Like most of these onions need to be cut and used. I'm going to do some preservation projects with those. I make pesto. That'll be on my YouTube. By the way, guys, I'm going to be putting out 3 to 4 videos a week around gardening, food prep, moving forward as we go through the peak season. We're back to normal now. We're finishing up our tiny home projects. We are getting our offices back, so everything's just changing a little bit. Not back, we're getting offices for the first time. That'll be my husband's side. We'll have a home gym, which will save on all the children having to go to the gym, and then I'll have a studio over there. So it's good. I feel like we're finally getting back to normal here. We've got 2 houses. We're finishing up odds and ends on 3 tiny homes right now. Kind of all the loose ends are taking a really, really long time. These are off grid, so it's like power, solar, composting toilets, water catchment. It's complex. But we're getting there. So if you're just hopping on, I'm going to do 4 towers that are tall. And then 3, those 2 that aren't put together. And that was my pepper tower that used to grow inside. It didn't make it. Those are all going to be tomatoes and peppers. Actually, one of these tall towers might be the peppers, those tomatoes. And then I have 3 more coming that will be winter squash and things. And then these towers here right now are cool weather crops, so peas and things. And then those will become the cucumbers. And probably mostly just cucumbers. I like those. Jelly melons did really well. How many towers you got? I'm just starting out with 20. Any tips? Yeah, X-Pro P to the moon. You have 20 tower gardens? That's amazing. So will have 16 going this year. I will have 4 set up as farm towers, which means they're taller. And then I have 2 of mine are home towers, which are these over here. So they're the smaller ones. They're not smaller. They have a different base. They have 13-gallon tank. These are more like my herb kitchen gardens right by the house. That's our front door right there. So on the way, I can just kind of grab things. And yeah, any questions you want to ask me, let me know. If there's specific things you want to know, because there's lots of things we can talk about with towers, for sure. Linda needs another tower. Hey, Linda, there's a coupon. And in the description, guys, I put my link. There's a coupon, MOM100, for $100 off. It's a good time to get a tower. Linda, have you seen the terracotta? Yeah, I saw the terracotta one. Limited edition. Yes, I saw that limited edition one. For me, I'm not going to get it because then I'd have like one oddball. Mine are kind of changing colors too. I guess just from fading. And you guys know I don't worry too much about keeping them all white and shiny. I care more about how much food they are growing. All right, let me show you guys. Let's see. This one, I've got 1 aloe. The others I brought inside. It's a little traumatized when they get brown like that. It's adjusting, but slowly. We got some watercress here. With your watercress, you can just start new seedlings. I have a reel on this. But instead of starting from seed, just take this tip. Get all these leaves off. And then stick it right into a rock wool. Right inside your tower. If I had a rock wool that was empty, like a plant died, I would totally do that right now. And you just stick it in and it'll grow a new plant. Very, very durable. Getting my first tower any day now. What is the best nutrition mix for salads and herbs? Sabine, what do you mean nutrition mix? Like what to grow? You're talking about like foods to grow? I'll show you what I'm growing for my salad. So I juice every day, and I try to juice a minimum of seven different things. When there's another, oh, that's a little spider. So I'm trying to do at least 3 herbs and then greens. And the minimum is 7 when I juice. That just makes me feel like I'm checking a lot of nutrition boxes. So my herbs for today are going to be cilantro, parsley, and I'm going to go harvest some oregano and juice that. I might even put some dill. I juice my dill, and we have a lot of that too right now. Then for salads, I can show you everything we're growing. Endive. So endive is a really nutritious green. Turnips and turnip greens are really nutritious. For salads, we actually do a ton of basil. I have a ton of basil starts that are about to go in. And we eat basil like a lettuce. Kale, any kind of bok choys, tot soys you can add. Those are always nutritious. Swiss chard. These big leaves I use for juicing, but then I'll use these small ones in salads, especially the red colored ones. Those are always tons of nutrition. Watercress, this is always good. This is chives are always good. I want to make juices as well. My question, what are you adding to I use Tower Garden nutrients. I am a Tower Garden nutrient girl. Some people switch. I only use Tower Garden. I only grow on Tower Gardens when it comes to aeroponics, and I use their nutrients. It just works so easy for me that, you know, if it's not broke, I'm not going to try and fix it. So you can see a lot of things are going to flower. Our weather, like Florida, they're past their gardening season right now. Isn't that wild? Like they're in the getting too hot, where we're kind of warm one day and then cold the next, which causes the issue of things going to flower. This is arugula, so that's a great one to juice. Arugula doesn't bother me when it goes to flower. Some plants can get a little bitter. These are so overgrown. Actually, neat. I'm going to take these out. Look at this. So I'm going to take these in and cut the onions off. I'm going to trim the roots and I'm going to put them back in. I'm going to do that because I am super shy on starts. We can't really start our own starts this year. I'm making a salad inside with orzo pasta, and I'm making green onion pesto to put away in the freezer. Our garage is getting revamped, and so I don't have anywhere to start my seedlings. I started using a hydroponic system, actually, like an Aero Garden, but it's a TikTok brand that I have. It's called an iFarm, and I'm actually starting my seedlings in the house. It's been working well. I'll have to put a couple of bottles of nutrients and pH stuff outside. I still use mine. I leave mine outside full time, Jody. Again, I break a lot of rules and things work out just fine. So I leave them right here. And, you know, we don't go through these very fast until summertime. So I would use them. You'll know. Let me show you what it looks like when your nutrients aren't right. I don't know why these tanks aren't right. My guess is that I didn't do it right to begin with. I might have forgot to put full strength nutrients in. I could have forgotten like the A or the B, because both towers I set up at the same day and both of them have a nutrient deficiency. Or it's just been raining a lot. I don't really know. Rain should not affect these. The water's almost empty, so I'm just going to start over. But this is a nutrient deficiency. And so I'm not going to eat anything off of here until that clears. But you can clearly see it. It will clean up super fast. But I noticed it over here too. See that yellowing? So I did, and because I set them up on the same day and they're both showing signs, I think it's a me issue. Look at our first strawberry. I have strawberries down here too, but they're always going to do better on the towers because there's no slugs, bugs, no way for them to get gross. So in Florida, would the towers have to be moved inside? So Monica, yes. What is that big plant behind this? Okay, that's elecamp. Elecamp is in the sunflower family. It will actually get taller than the towers. It is a root crop for medicinals. You don't harvest until year 2, and this is year 2. And so it's not in the best spot. My goal for this property, look at these guys. So you guys know I landscape food in everywhere. We don't have decorative bushes. I have some decorative bushes like peonies over there, but it's food and herbs. And so these are going to go out further, these beds. So I might not have to move it. I might just move the towers down a little. But yeah, it is an herb for medicinal purposes. This is comfrey. These are all strawberries. These are greens that seeded from my tower. That's bee balm. Wild bergamot. This is a pear tree, and I shared on a YouTube that you cut your trees 2 feet. Okay, these are cut to my ankle or my knee. And then they grow super small. So this tree will never be taller than me because I did that in the beginning. So it dwarfed it, even though it's not a dwarf tree. So it's just sort of a tiny tree hack. Yeah, you can grow strawberries. Yep, in the tower. That's where I'm growing mine. And so in Florida, Monica, just to finish that conversation, you can grow in a tower in Florida in the summer, but you cannot grow lettuce and stuff. So when I had a tower in Florida, that was what it was for. That was when I first started tower gardening. I kept a tower inside for my greens. And then if I was in Florida still, I would totally do everything different. I would grow so much food in Florida in towers, but I would use a shade cloth. You can put like, you can build a little arbor and use shade cloth over them. Oh, you're going to move back to Florida? It's hot there, girl. Woo. I mean, Sabine is in Italy. Yeah, those onions look so good. Italy, I bet it's beautiful there. Yeah, Monica, message me later. I'll connect you. Message me on Instagram. Are you on Instagram? I'll connect you with my friend who's in Orlando who tower gardens. She was here in Western North Carolina. They had a farm. And then she went to Florida and decided to just tower garden there. And she's got, I think, like 8 or 9 of them outside. This is a nectarine tree and peppermint. But do you see what it's doing? It's growing stems off the bottom. We don't want that to happen. We want it to grow treetop stems. So we just take those off. I grow peppermint. I know they say don't grow peppermint in your gardens. I do. I grow it intentionally. Because it keeps deer away. And it's good ground cover to protect the soil until the plants you want to come in grow. And it's a good chop and drop crop. So this kind of from here over is really wild because it's not finished yet. And so if you're not familiar with permaculture, what you're doing is you're building soil from the top down. And so like this area looks a little bit more manicured and intentional. And then these don't because there's open ground. So I'm just letting wild things in that peppermint take over until these trees come in. And what I do is take my elecamp. Oh, but Monica, you can grow moringa in Florida. You can have a beautiful food forest. I used to have an amazing food forest in Florida. And this is what we do. We take these, right? We're cleaning up space so other things can grow here. I'm probably going to do some Egyptian walking onions along the bottom. And then we take these leaves and we look for something that's struggling. Let's see here. This right here is a good one. This is a peach tree, okay? Peach trees, they're not super sensitive, but again, I dwarfed these trees, and so it might have stressed it out just a little bit more than normal. And we can just make a ground cover with our elecamp. And we're just mulching around the tree. Adding that nutrition, protecting those roots, building that compost. That's how you chop and drop. That's why we love permaculture. Not much happening with the towers here, North Italy yet. Some frost in the winter. I am 600 miles high, 25. Oh, wow. Yes, Sabine. I bet it's beautiful there. I have tomatoes and lettuce in my tower. Linda, that sounds amazing. I haven't even put ours in. We can't put tomatoes in until Mother's Day. So through here, it's hard to tell. But I have 25 more medicinal herbs going in this week. Tomorrow, actually. I'll film that for you guys. I'm going to have a lot more YouTubes coming out because we're not building tiny homes, anything. We're kind of finishing up all those projects. This is self-heal. It's a herb. Oh, it smells so good. And it's a ground cover herb. So it's sort of in the front here getting established. And it will win with peppermint. And so there are some things that can't handle peppermint. They'll be crowded out. Like my Egyptian walking onion. I'll show you what that is if you aren't familiar. But this is one that can. And so they will live together as the ground cover. Where are you? Lots of the herbs are small. This right here is valerian root. And it has done beautifully. Came back, and you eat the root. It's the medicinal. I won't this year. I'm going to let it go to flower and use those seeds to start some new ones. There's St. John's wort in here. There's so many things. Primrose, dead nettle is in here. Cleavers are in here. This is yarrow. Yarrow and cleavers having a party together here. This right here is aronia berry. It's actually an incredibly nutrient dense berry. You do need to freeze them and eat them. They're not like a raw eating fruit. They just don't taste very good, but I look at all of them. It has popped off. And over here, so again, this is wild because we have not established the tall things. And so I don't care that there's weeds here. I actually just come and weed whack them, and I let all the stuff stay. I'm not afraid of weeds in a permaculture garden, because when you establish the things you want, the weeds won't be there. And the weeds are actually producing, they're there for a reason, like the dandelion, because the ground is compact. Okay, you've got certain things in here because the soil needs that. It's reforesting, it's natural reforestation. And so we just whack it down when we're ready to put something else here. And this is a great example. This is comfrey. It's a food source for my chickens. It's a medicinal. It is a chop and drop crop. It grows in abundance. This one's actually not, some of them are super invasive, like they'll take over. Crazy. This one is not a super invasive one to our region, so I did that intentionally. But this is what we do. We just pull those, and we can feed them to animals, and we chop and drop. So we're building our compost with them. This is my plum tree. And as I put some more right here. So that is comfrey, and that will grow, and it will hide all these weeds. It'll take over, and the weeds won't be here anymore because the comfrey will grow and fill in. So that's why we're not worried about weeds in a permaculture, because it would be worse for this to be open soil. It would not be good for the land at all. Then back here, here's another great example. This is, that's in the, it's a poke weed. You can actually, people say they're poisonous. They're not. Just got to know what you're doing. This is Jerusalem artichoke. And so you can see how big that expanded to. That's a survival crop. There's a blueberry next to it. That blueberry was not happy. I planted the Jerusalem artichoke there, and they've been doing great together. It's a root vegetable. Tastes like chestnuts to me, like water chestnuts. It's so delicious. You eat it raw, or I eat it raw, and you will plant it once and have it forever. I made some jam with my frozen aronia berries, lightly cooked down with coconut sugar, then added chia seeds to thicken. That's awesome. A tulip tree. Which one? Oh, this right here. This is oh my gosh, the name's gonna leave me. I'm tired today. We had a big church event this morning. Not sycamore. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. Yeah, the artichoke is underground. It's not an artichoke. Artichokes grow above the ground. I actually have a few of those coming in, and I'm trying to establish where to put them. They do not like competition, so they're not going to do well in a permaculture setting. They don't like to compete for space, so they might even go in a raised bed. But a Jerusalem artichoke is actually a root, and they call it a Jerusalem artichoke because it tastes a little bit similar to an artichoke in the way of sweetness. Let's see if we can pull one up. I've got plenty, so I'm not afraid to pull one up. And I will actually add this somewhere else. Oh, the cool thing with Jerusalem artichoke, you see how it fills up space that would have been weeds? And as those trees fill in, what'll happen is it's going to be the main shining star until the trees start to fill in and shade it out, and then I'll move it. It won't be as abundant. It'll always be there, but it won't be the main crop. That's the whole thing with permaculture too. A lot of your crops are not permanent. Like this This is a mulberry. It is providing shade to this area. When these two trees and this tree are big, this is gone. This was never intended to be a permanent tree here. I have many mulberry trees. I can start a mulberry tree by blinking my eyes. So this will get taken out or turned into a bush. And then those will be the shining stars. So let me show you what this looks like actually. Poplar. Yeah, we call it poplar. I've never heard it tulip poplar. Yes, they're kind of invasive around here. The bees like those trees. Oh, I've got bees going in, guys. The bees are going to be, yeah, so let me show you this artichoke. The bees are going in. I haven't decided where. Probably down by the chicken coop over there. We got a new chicken coop. Mine died again because of my terrible coop. So that's our new garage, that little shed. And we got rid of the old coop that was so ugly. My new coop's adorable. I've got chickens in the incubator right now. All right, and then we are taking out some of our bushes just to make it prettier. These are all food, but they're wild. And I've started adding in food to other spots, and we just don't need those anymore. And then I'm going to actually, once it's cleared, start planting more fruit trees along the line here. And we'll just get a lot more food from the fruit trees. We have berries everywhere. We cannot eat even close to the number of berries that produce wild here. My lawn is made of weeds. It's a weed lawn. We don't do lawns. We do whatever grows wild. Mostly clover. Actually, I'll see if I can find it. Sorrel. I don't know if you're familiar with sorrel. It comes in many different ways, but there's a sorrel that looks like clover. And it's called wood sorrel. You'll know the difference because it smells a little different and it's a little smaller. And that is an incredible medicinal. So most of this, it was dead nettle, lilies, and not lilies, the little purple lilies. And then, oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, that's what it looks like. Let me show you over here. Dandelions. And then now what it'll be is plantain, clover, that wood sorrel is throughout, chickweed. Let's see what else we have in here. It changes. So it depends on the season as far as medicinal purposes of what's growing in this lawn. All right. So this is what the root looks like. These are the plant root, the mother root. So just like a potato, the mother is going to be, it'll spare itself to grow the plant. And so this is the new tuber. Okay. So this was the tuber that was left in the ground from last year. And this is the new tuber it produced. And it will produce, like, they get big. And it'll produce multiple of them. And then this is totally viable to go put into the garden somewhere. And so what I'll do is cut it though. I'll cut the stem off. And we'll just find somewhere where we need, this whole area is going to be my raised beds through here. That's a pear tree. And so I'm going to do rocks through here, and all this will be the raised beds. And then I kept trying to do blueberries along the house here, and they just do not survive. Our house has to be painted because of some pest issues. This is Jerusalem artichoke too. So I'm going to wait and plant something different after the house gets painted. But that's that. So yeah, I'll put this in the ground somewhere. I'm probably going to put it over my chicken coops, to be honest, because they can eat the greens. But it'll get tall enough where they can't kill it, and it'll give them food and shade, and then it's a food source because they won't dig up roots. All right. This is a service berry. Hold on. Let me read your comments. Medicinals, my dog likes to munch on grass. When I get a place, I was hoping to make an edible, safe lawn for him. Yeah, Monica, just do clover, plantain in Florida. You want to do plantain, clover, Just do not do like St. Augustine grass, whatever you do. I'm looking it up. The tulip popper, native to North America. Yes, my bees love the flowers. I don't know if we have any that are blooming here. I think I saw a tulip blooming, a poplar blooming. Where was it? I was just looking, thinking, oh, how pretty it was. I don't remember where it was, though. I must have been on a walk. This lamb's ear, it's got some good, it's not a super medicinal, so I've gone back and forth on keeping it because it also gets a little bit bleh. But it does have medicinal properties, and I tell you what, it's a great toilet paper. So good to keep around. These are a pink strawberry blueberry, a pink blueberry, both of those. And so, and then there's anise hyssop that grows in here. And so again, it looks weedy and messy, but there's also mushrooms that grow in here. But this stuff fills out so fast, you won't even see the ground. And again, don't worry about the weeds because the big stuff wins. These are service berries. It's a service berry tree. Service berries are, to me, better than blueberries. They last longer. They're seedier. I don't know. They're so good. This is a honeyberry. Honeyberries are amazing. Not super prolific in this area, but worth keeping because, you know, it's variety. It's fun. Look at the blueberries. So many of those. All right, over here we have mushroom logs. This is kiwi, and I was hoping it would bloom this year, and it did not, so maybe next year, but I keep it around. Somebody said take it out because they get so big. You see how it's like a tree trunk, but I'm not willing to give up on it. I actually am trailing it like down the house through the basement, and why not one day? There's room for it. Look at the mushrooms. So I harvested a bunch. Oh, there's some back there too. Here, let's go in. I've got mushrooms in different places throughout the property. There's some beauties. That's shiitake. So when this happens on your logs, you want to keep them moist. So I'll water these because it's called pipping, and it'll stop if they get really hot. So I'm going to give those a water tonight. My theory why these blueberries are so amazing is because I grow mushrooms underneath them. That's all mushroom waste. So when my blocks are done, I throw them in here and then I cover them with straw and they keep growing. And I think it's just inoculated the soil so beautifully. There's also wine caps under here, mushrooms. So watch this. I know, grow, kiwi, grow. This is all, you see that white? This is all mycelium under here. And those, I'm not gonna break it up because it's actually, oh, excuse me, got pollen in my throat. It's my wine caps. This is chickweed, it's a food. But when things are in the path like this, again, we just chop them, drop them. We treat weeds. Weeds are not a weed. They're actually making good soil, protecting the soil. All right, guys, I was just hopping on, doodling in my garden. This is actually what I do every day. Just doing it with company today. My paddle board. I swear I've got to put this thing away. I have come out here to move it like 15 times, and it's wet, so I leave it to dry, and then it rains again. And that happens over and over. I'll show you my other permaculture food forest here. Hopefully my phone will behave. So, I don't know if you can see them. These are all mulberries. That's why I don't worry about that other mulberry. That's an apple. And then that will all be food forest down there. I'm going to put in blueberries and things this year. Then along this forest line, these are, I planted food. Serviceberry, 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 apple, and serviceberry. And then my mushroom logs, ton of them over there. Oh, you're outside watering your garden. Isn't that fun? It's so amazing. I'm going to go for a walk. This is a serviceberry tree. So this is the other perimeter food forest. Let me see if I can get in this angle. So this clay wall, the way they build houses here, there's limited flat area, right? And so this was an old logging road, and to get the driveway big enough, they just cut into the land. So they'll just like chop the land up, and it leaves these clay walls. And they reforest over time, but they're ugly. And so I set my perimeter food forest up throughout this wall. And so that's a serviceberry. And then underneath them, I did blackberries, raspberries, blueberry towards the front. And that is the theme over and over again. So this one's an apple tree. That's a goji berry, blueberry, blackberries, blackberries, blackberries. This one is a pear tree that somebody ran over with the car because they weren't used to having trees here. So I'm probably going to have to replace that one. It came back, and it didn't come back from the graft. Like the graft is down here. So I might just let it, it's going to just be short and bushy, but it could be very interesting. So since it's here, I'll probably just let it be. But more blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. And so that's the theme all the way down. And then as these trees fill out, I will put pawpaws in here, which is like a banana, a wild banana. And those blackberries will cover the ground, like they will take over. There's natural berries in here too. This is a wine berry, which is native. And so I'm just kind of weed whacking the things I don't want to grow and then letting the things I do take over. And that's how you establish a permaculture food forest. All right, this tree. The cool thing about this area, graft another pear. Yeah, I could graft another pear tree to it. Ooh, dewberries sound amazing. I have never grown dewberries. I don't know if I can grow those here. I'll have to look that up. There's our burn barrel. It's a mess. Everything's a mess over here. But this wall, if you look, first off, it erodes. It's caving in places because we live in a temperate rainforest. But the cool thing is, and like sometimes I wonder, are the whole tree's gonna fall? Probably one day. But it erodes. It actually feeds this area incredibly. So like the plants are so happy here. These are like first year blueberries. Everything's just thriving because the wash off from the forest comes right here and lands, which is another permaculture principle. Like, how do we capture that runoff and use it? Because the water comes here, goes down, and then it goes down the forest that way. So we're just taking it all in, all that nutrition from the forest. And then hopefully as these trees establish, it will stabilize that wall a little bit. Just protect it from the wind and so much sun that dries it out, and then it gets wet and then it erodes. And so if we can protect it from the sun, because this is south facing, it gets blasted, then it will establish, it will reforest, like with these pines and things. And then that kind of holds it together, ideally. Yeah, there is ivy on here. There's, we can't do English ivy here. It's, first off, it gets too much sun on this wall because it's south facing and it's just not native here. But these are, it's these kind of vines, honeysuckle right here. So the honeysuckle is a great one. The wine berries, that's a great one to protect against erosion. So the natural things, this is one, I forget the name of this one. It will take over. And it's the first stage. So you're going to have, oh, this is the honeysuckle. Yeah. It's the first stage. So once the ground is more protected, then other things will start to come. But we're going to see that first throughout the whole thing. So a wall honeysuckle, sign me up. It's an oak tree. This is the wild rose. They're blooming. Gonna make a bunch of tea with that. Yeah. Yeah, English ivy, definitely not gonna do. It's not native here, and it's, I don't know if it's invasive here. I've seen it taken over at like the Biltmore. But it's just not native. And you don't want to really introduce a lot of not native things. These are all clovers and cleavers. Sorry. These are cleavers. So good for you. I'm actually going to harvest a ton of these and make tea probably tomorrow to dry them for the winter with poison ivy. If you get poison ivy, make that into skincare. I'm checking for mushrooms. Not seeing any others popping off at the moment. Yeah, I don't see anything. Do you guys hear the rainforest? Oh, I'm moving out of range. Okay. I'm back. All right, that was my little garden tour. Lots of food. Hoping to get the rest of the towers up in the next, by Mother's Day. That is our time frame to get everything out and keep going the raised beds. Look, that's all compost soil to start raised beds. That's published. And just keep chipping away at this food thing one day at a time, right guys? One day at a time. And it adds up over time. And then we have all of this abundance to eat and consume. If you guys need tips, I have one coming out tomorrow, a kale salad that I made from the garden, a pineapple mango salsa, mostly from the garden, and sharing some recipes with you guys. All right. Thanks, Linda. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It was fun. I'm usually in my garden alone. I'm going to go fix the water in these. I'm going to go for a walk, check the mail. And I hope you guys, oh, look at this is a cherry tree. I did a wild cherry in here too this year. This is a cherry tree. Let's see if any of the blossoms made it. We did get a late frost. Well, for us, it's not late. That's what happens with some things here. We frost after they bloom and then we don't get any food. But I can't tell if they made it or not. So we'll see. But that's a cherry. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Happy Sunday. Wait, did I miss anything? Yeah, big cherry tree. Yeah, this one's a big cherry tree. So beautiful, even if it never blooms. I love trees just like randomly in the yard. I love trees. If you haven't noticed, I love trees. I love living in the trees, being surrounded by plants. Look at my porch. Oh, you guys want to see? So Marshall opened back up, guys. We had our grand opening. That's actually what I'm using to start my seeds in. Hold on. This iFarm. But we had a grand opening in Marshall. They're back open. Some of the places. I mean, it still looks like a disaster zone, but you know, there's progress. And so I went today. This is just because our garage is under construction. I went today and got this beauty. Look at this. This is a split leaf philodendron. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love it so much. I'm just in awe. It was such a treat. So supporting our little town, and I got this beautiful new plant to go on our porch. I got the ferns hung. We took our screens out. Our screens were like totally damaged in the hurricane, and we're so tattered, and we were trying to get someone to do it, and then no one wanted to do it because it's up against a log house. It's just complicated, and so we just took them out, and I'm so glad we did. It's so much better. Yeah, that plant is so unique. This cool little tea store. It's an herbal tea store, and she has plants and like homemade pottery and the coolest stuff ever in her shop. So I am in heaven because we're going to go have tea in downtown. All right, guys, have a beautiful Sunday.